Hi guys, it's me, Trudy Lee. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're doing well. It got hot again here, you guys. It's the weather is so humid and it's just feels terrible. I just had to crank up the air conditioner. We haven't had the air conditioner on for a few days, thank goodness, for I don't know, 5 or 6 days. But it's only like 80 degrees, but it is so humid. It feels so hot. We just, couldn't stand it anymore. We turned on the air conditioner. But I got up this morning and this is how my hair looked. I didn't have to do nothing to it. I just brushed it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like this haircut. It's a lot easier. I don't have to put it up or take care of it or anything. Usually when I wake up, my hair's out to here, because I've got curly hair and it's usually out to here. So shorter's better. Wished I would have thought of doing this a long time ago. Okay, so, we're going to take a break. I'm going to talk a little bit about the election because I can't believe Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's back saying fraudulent things about the voting machines, saying that they're changing the vote of people. They're casting a vote for Trump and it's, the voting machines are changing the vote, which is not true. It's completely untrue. What happened was a person, maybe they made a mistake, they're nervous or whatever, they accidentally voted for the person they didn't want to vote for and they wanted to do it over. So they had to go and bring it and do it over. So they made a mistake. It wasn't for the voting machine or anything. I hope they sue the hell out of her for putting that out there, tweeting that out there. But I want to take a break from all this voting. We've been under so much pressure for so long, and I know everything is going great. I am telling you, there is a blue wave out there. It's a tsunami. People are voting very heavily, and I just think we're going to have President Harris win by a large margin. But what I want to talk about today was, like I said, take a little break from politics and tell a story. So since it's almost Halloween, I thought I would tell a little Halloween story that happened to me and my brother when we were trick-or-treating. Now, this was in the very early 70s. I think that we were probably 8 or 9 years old. See, we're 14 months apart, so we were either 8 or 9 or 9 and 10. Somewhere around that. Very early 70s. So we lived in Pasadena, Texas at that time. And if y'all can remember, there was a serial killer on the loose in the early 1970s called the Candy Man. He was raping, murdering, and torturing young men. I think he tortured like 28 young men altogether, and he did have a couple of young men helping him do this. But I remember at that time, I remember hearing it on the news, and my father was so safety-minded. Now, he had 5 children. There was 5 of us, and we were, all like 2.5 years old, years apart. Me and my brother were 14 months apart, so that we were really, really close. So we had 5 kids in the household. And like I said, my father was super safety minded. So, anytime we weren't allowed hardly to go anywhere, do anything. We were little, but he was always reminding us, what would we do in this situation? What would we do in that situation? He'd put us in a headlock and say, what if you were in a headlock? What if somebody grabbed you? How are you going to get out? What are you going to do? We're little kids, so what could we do? Nothing. We're like scrambling, trying to get away from my dad. He used to put boxing gloves on us and have us box each other so that we could fight. It was so funny. We had fire drills. What we would do in case of a fire. How we would leave our rooms. Open our window and go out the window. Thank goodness we always lived in a 1-story house, so it was easy to go out the window. But I remember we'd have fire drills. He was super safety minded. So going trick-or-treating, of course, you have to be with an adult. You have to be with mom or dad. And we went trick-or-treating on this Halloween night. me and my brother, and I remember we wanted just to go a little bit more. You know, kids are so greedy. They want a little bit more candy. We said, "Oh, Mom, we missed a house. You know, we're going to just go down here to the next door neighbor's house. They were gone, and we're gonna go back down there and ring their doorbell and get some candy." So we went. We just started going, backtracking from house to house to house till we got to the end of the block. And then I remember we went down the block a little ways, and these streets, I don't believe they had sidewalks. These were very small, narrow streets in Pasadena, Texas. There wasn't any sidewalks, so you're walking kind of on the side of the road, from house to house. And it was a neighborhood. It just didn't have. It was an old neighborhood. You know, it was in the 70s, so there wasn't any sidewalks. And this, you know, we decided we were going to go back. We decided we better get back home. It was dark and we're going to get in trouble. So we turned around and we started walking back. This car passes us, drives up real slow, and then goes to the end of the street, turns around, comes back, goes to the end of the street, turns around, comes back. And when he got real close, and like I said, we're like right there at the street, he comes up and he says, "Hey, your mama told me to pick y'all up and give you a ride home." And me and my brother, we'd been trained. We knew. We were scared out of our minds. We knew this man was lying. My mother would never send a stranger to pick us up, and our father had taught us not to trust strangers, never get in a car with a stranger or anything. We just looked at this man and started screaming. And we just started running and screaming, and we ran to a neighbor's door, a stranger store, and we started banging on the door and everything. There was nobody home, or at least nobody would answer the door. Maybe they thought there were some more trick-or-treaters and they were done or something. They wouldn't answer the door, and we were out of our mind. We were so scared. We were so scared because we'd heard that especially boys were being snatched, you know. So we were really, really scared that, you know, that somebody wanted to take my brother. Of course, he was just a little boy then, but I'm sure that man had bad intentions. Why was he trying to get children in the car with him? So it was really scary. We ran all the way back home. We got home and you were like, shut the door, and it was like, "There's a man following us." You know, we told our mother and everything, but of course the car never came around or anything. But thank goodness he was unable to lure us in the car. God only knows what would have happened to us if that man would have lured us into his car. So really, really scary. Also, there was a man in Deer Park, Texas, and he was called the Candy Man also. He was like trying to do a copycat of this Candy Man that killed all these, killed the boys. But this Candy Man killed his own son. He was a deacon at a Baptist church. I went to Deer Park High School also, so this was a horrible, terrible thing that happened. So this happened at, like, I don't know, 1974, I think. So right after this Halloween, scare that we had, then this happened in Deer Park before I went to high school. So on Halloween night in 1974, Ronald Clark O'Brien put poison in a giant pixie stick. Do y'all remember hearing this? You remember those big old giant pixie sticks they used to have? He put cyanide poisoning in that, rat poisoning in there to give to his children. He'd taken a great big old insurance policy out on them, and he wanted to kill his children so that he could collect the insurance on them. But he had to make it look like somebody else had done it. So when they were trick-or-treating, all of a sudden, he was kind of lagging behind a little bit, and he says, the last house, they came out and they gave us these pixie sticks here. And he actually had some extra children with him from the neighbors. So I think he had 5 pixie sticks altogether, and gave them to the children. When his son got home, he went into the pixie stick and started eating the pixie stick. I think he had a daughter also that didn't get, didn't eat it. Thank goodness. But they said his son, Tim, started to cry like 30 seconds after he ingested it. I mean, right away. He said his stomach hurt. He started vomiting, going into convulsions, and he died at the hospital in less than 1 hour later. This man was tried, convicted, and executed on March 31st, 1984, for killing his son on Halloween. Halloween is a scary time, y'all. It really is, so be careful out there. I know we want to have safe, fun, good times, but there's crazy people out there that we need to watch out for and be careful. When I was a child, we would, I don't know if this is a thing anymore because I don't even have any kids or even grandkids that are little enough to trick or treat. But they used to, people would put razor blades in the apples and things like that. And, so if you got an apple, you didn't even want to eat it. Even if somebody gave you a good apple, you didn't want to eat it because you thought maybe there might be a razor blade in it. So what are you giving me an apple for? What's wrong with you? And I remember there was some Arab people that lived close to us, and they always gave us money. So it was really good. They didn't give candy, they gave money. So we're like, ding dong, we're back. We'll take the money. It was just, some change. They would throw change in there. So they did their own thing, but that was fun. So have a safe, happy Halloween. I know that was a scary story, but everything turned out okay for us. Thank goodness my father kept us safe by, making us box each other and putting us in headlocks and having fire drills. God bless him. He passed away when he was 54 years old. And y'all know my brother just passed away and he was 61. So, yeah. My mom was 81. She lived a little bit longer. So, there's hope for me. Hopefully I'm going to live long enough to see a great grandchild. I hope so. Hopefully. All right, guys. That was just a little diversion. Hopefully y'all enjoyed listening to my stories. Take care. Have a safe and happy Halloween. I'm sure I'll talk to y'all again before then. And love y'all so much. If you would like to get a reading with me, look down below. I'll leave my email. If you need a healing session, I've been doing a lot of healing sessions lately. I love to do them. And energy cleanse. That goes hand in hand. If I do a complete healing session for you, you get a chakra balancing, energy cleanse, and a healing session, everything all together. So it's very powerful, works very nicely. Okay, guys, do something kind for somebody. It'll always come back to you. And bye for now.